We're going to talk about this now with Delano D'Souza, who joins me on set. Delano, what's going to be happening in the next few weeks?
Well, Jeannie, India's election is huge. As you said, nearly a billion people, 969 million people, in fact, are registered to vote. Just to give you some perspective, in the last U.S. election, we had 239 million Americans who were registered to vote. So because the numbers are so much higher, this election is spread out in 7 phases and takes place over the next 6 weeks. So what's at stake? Well, we have 543 seats in the lower house of parliament that are up for grabs. 272 seats are needed to secure a majority. Now, the BJP and its allies are so confident that they're going to get a comfortable majority. They say they're going to get 400 seats in this election. So who is the opposition? Well, we have the country's oldest party, the Congress Party, that is in the running, and they have formed a so-called India Alliance. Now, India Alliance stands for Indian National Development Inclusive Alliance. So it includes the Congress Party, but as well as the Aam Aadmi Party, or the Common People's Party. Now, going into the election, opposition parties have alleged that the playing field is tilted. The Congress has had its funds frozen in the run-up to this election, and it says it wasn't able to campaign effectively. Plus, we have 3 members of the Aam Aadmi Party who are behind bars, including the Chief Minister of New Delhi, on charges they say are trumped up.
So here we have Narendra Modi hoping to get a third term. Is his victory all but certain at this point?
Well, if the polls are to be believed, it seems that the BJP is set to stage a comeback. 73-year-old Narendra Modi has been in office since 2014, and he's seeking a historic third term. Now, the only other prime minister to secure a third consecutive term was India's first prime minister, Nehru. Modi's approval rating, as you can see on your screen, is extremely high at 75%. If we think of approval ratings for Emmanuel Macron or even Joe Biden, that they hover around the 30% mark. Modi's roots come from the right-wing paramilitary organization, the RSS, and this has brought Hindu nationalism into the mainstream in India. India remains a secular democracy. For now, the country has over 200 million Muslims, plus Christians, as well as Sikhs, and there are fears that these religious minorities are going to be second-class citizens, transformed into second-class citizens. Now, while Modi has been feted on the world stage by the likes of Emmanuel Macron or over at the White House by Joe Biden, back at home, his party is accused of chipping away at the country's democratic credentials. Freedom House now calls India a partly free democracy. Now, India has also slipped in the World Press Freedom Index ranking at around 161 out of 180 countries, slipping behind the likes of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, billionaires who are close to the Prime Minister have bought many of the mainstream media organizations, and they tend to toe the government line. Organizations and journalists that hold the government to account are often have to face the wrath from government agencies. Now, I started my career working in the media in India, and I have spoken to editors, and they tell me that there is pressure from the government to rose tint things. Just this week, X, formerly Twitter, was ordered to take down political posts of opposition lawmakers. The platform did so, but they said they didn't agree with the decision.
So here we have some 1 billion voters going to head to the polls. Can we see some common themes amongst the issues that concern them the most?
Well, the thing is, the opposition, the Congress and others say that this election is about saving India's democracy. For the BJP, it's about development. Now, when we look at headline figures coming out of India, like GDP growth, for instance, they're really, really good. 6.3%, making India the 5th largest economy in the world. Modi is positioning India as this sort of manufacturing hub, as an alternative to China. Now we have iPhones being made in India. Next week, Elon Musk is due to announce, he's due to visit the country and announce a $2 to $3 billion investment to set up a Tesla factory. The country's stock market is on fire. People are making a lot of money in India. A friend of a friend in December met somebody who invests in the stock market. He's my age, in his 40s, and he said he's making so much money he can retire today. So there is a lot of money. But like everything in India, there's always a dichotomy. There's a chunk of the population which is struggling, namely the youth. Youth unemployment is a real problem in India. It's extremely high, at 23%. It is harder for young Indians with a degree to find a job than those who don't know how to read or write. It's crazy, isn't it? Plus, there's the everyday realities on the ground, Jeannie, that make life extremely difficult. Climate change is a problem. The summer is going on now. Temperatures are extremely, extremely high. Infrastructure is a problem. Everything seems to be constructed at the same time. We have roads being built, bridges being built, traffic is a nightmare, buildings are being modernized. Pollution is a problem, and this is also making the air you breathe difficult. Now, all this is pushing Indians out of the country. There has been a mass exodus of high net worth individuals. Last year, 6,500 left the country. They're going to places like Singapore, Dubai, the United Kingdom. And also, since 2020, the number of Indians illegally crossing into the United States has risen exponentially. Last year, 100,000 Indians illegally went to the United States from the US's southern border. Now, if things were so rosy back at home, why are people leaving?
Indeed. All right, Delano, thanks so much for that. And thanks. We're lucky to have you looking at all of that for us in the coming weeks. We're going to be talking a lot about that election in India, which